Hello everybody, Mitzi Cruz, Lincoln Live. I'm here with Janet Voris,
Hi.
Placer Land Trust, and she's going to tell us all about Placer Land Trust, what makes this organization so amazing, and why they are here in place to protect our wetlands
and open space.
And open space.
Yeah.
So Janet, can you start off by telling us just a little bit about yourself?
Sure. So I am a resident of Lincoln, sort of. I'm right on the boundary of Lincoln and Newcastle, and I have lived here for 17 years. My husband works at the Home Depot in Lincoln, so everybody knows him. John and I are raising our granddaughter, and I have a degree from Sac State in environmental studies with a minor in biology, which kind of helps me do my work at the Land Trust. And frequently what I'm doing as the program manager is I do a lot of community engagement, some outreach, some fundraising, and then I manage our volunteers. I do a lot of our events, and so I'm kind of all over the place. I work with our operations team in the office as well as our lands team. So I'm like kind of the crossover staff that works with everyone, and I'm one of the few that is engaging on both of our teams. So, and yeah, we live on 9 acres out in the country. So I get to enjoy my own open space, but then I get to come to the office and protect other open space. So
I love that. Yeah, we're in the country as well, and of course I've been to your property, and it's just beautiful.
A little star thistle-y, but
it happens.
Yeah.
So can you tell us, what is Placer Land Trust?
Sure. So Placer Land Trust is a 501c3 nonprofit community benefits corporation. We were started in the early 90s. And we originally were a Placer Land Trust and Nature Center, and for the first 10 years or so, the focus was really heavy on the Nature Center side, which is environmental education and working with kids and stuff, and we'd only protected about 80 acres. So our board of directors decided it would be a good time to split into 2 nonprofits so that we could each focus on our work. So half of the board went with them and the other half came with us. So the Placer Nature Center still exists as well as us. We actually celebrated our 20th anniversary together several years ago. We're now I think we're in year 26 now. So in 2002, we formed our nonprofit, as a split off of the other, and we've now protected over 8,400 acres of open space and ag land in Placer County.
Wow. Wow, and does your reach go all the way up to the top? It's a pretty long county.
It goes up to about Donner Lake area.
Okay.
There's no real dividing line, but there's the Truckee-Donner Land Trust that's up in Truckee.
Okay.
And so when we get into that level of properties, I think our executive directors flip a coin to see who's going to do it, because they work together to see who it makes most sense. So.
Great.
They have the Royal Gorge, and we just acquired a Kid Lake, which is where I was at yesterday at our dedication ceremony, which is up there in Soda Springs. So that is our highest easterly, I guess that's the east direction, easterly preserve.
Okay.
That we just worked with PG&E and the Stewardship Council to put a conservation easement on. So we were up there yesterday with close to 50 people kind of doing a dedication ceremony, and we enjoyed a little bit of paddle boarding. The weather wasn't quite cooperative enough to do a whole lot like we had planned.
Sure.
And then we go all the way down to the rest of the county. So Roseville, Lincoln, up here in Auburn. We have a lot of preserves up here in the Auburn area. But we're spread out, kind of throughout most of the county.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So, how does Placer Land Trust benefit our community?
That is a great question. So, we always say that land trusts are probably the best kept secret, but we don't want to be a secret. We want people to know about our work. So, most people have heard of the Nature Conservancy, which is sort of like a national nonprofit that is a land trust. But they don't usually hold all of the land. They're most of the time they're an intermediary to protect open space, and then they turn it over to other people. Sometimes they do keep their land, but a lot of times they're turning it over. So we are at the local level. So the state of California has land trusts all over the state. We're also governed by a national land trust alliance that oversees the work that land trusts do, and you can become accredited. So we are accredited. We were the first of 3 in the state of California to receive our accreditation, the first in the Sierra Nevada region, and we were also the first of 2 to receive our re-accreditation after 5 years. So that's pretty important. So it puts us at a little bit higher level. We can work with some of the government agencies a little easier because we've gone through the accreditation process. So I diverted from your question a little.
That's okay.
So how does it benefit people? So we're preserving land that is permanently protected for future and current generations, and those generations could be people, they could be animals, they could be the trees. When we protect property, it's in perpetuity. So, you know, we're opening trails up for people to recreate on. We are preserving corridors for wildlife to move through. But, you know, mostly we want to protect nature because that's an important thing that a lot of kids don't have access to nature if they live like in the middle of Sacramento or something. We do field trips, people come out here and they're just, you know, wow, look at all this beautiful stuff nature has to offer. So we forget that because we live in the country, so we see it all the time. But not everybody's as lucky as us. So, so we do, you know, we take people out on tours and try to get them connected to nature because that's, you know, it's a spiritual thing sometimes, you know.
It's important.
Yeah, it is.
Totally agree. So who are you actually governed by?
We have a board of directors that oversees what we do, but we're a very staff-driven organization. We all know what we're doing. We just brought on 2 new people. We're sitting in their office right now, but they're not in today. So, but our board of directors sort of oversees the work we're doing, and we're very fortunate that we've got a pretty solid board. We've brought on a couple new people recently, but we have one board member who is actually our founding board member. And he's been with us a long time, so he's, you know, he knows what's happened through the whole history of the organization. And you know, sometimes that's important because when you have staff that hasn't been here, you know, for as long, I've been here 7 years now, but some staff is newer, but when we're looking back through historical things, it's good to have somebody that knows where we came from and how we started, you know, because that helps us move forward.
Sure. So one thing I didn't actually send you a question in regards to was, how do you guys get funding?
So our funding is kind of split up. About a third of it comes from members. So people make donations, they become, you know, a member, they get invited to special events and things that we're doing, like the thing we did yesterday up at Kid Lake. That was a by invitation special dedication ceremony for our members. And about a third to a half, depending, comes from grant funding. So it depends what grants are available. So those financial things kind of vary, and then we have some other special programs that we get funding from. Some of it's grazing leases with the land that we own that we lease out to cattle grazers and stuff. And we have a few other sources, but we actually have some endowments, so that we have some money in the bank that's drawing interest, and that's how we keep moving forward into the future, because it's hard to plan how much money you need forever,
right?
You know, because we're not selling this land, we're hanging on to it, and it's something that, you know, it's a moving target. How do you know how much you're going to need in 50 years? So but you know, a lot of the money comes from member donations. So
gotcha. So what type of projects do you currently have in place?
Well, we just did this event yesterday at
Uh-huh.
Kidd Lake, so we're working with PG&E on some properties that they have throughout the Placer County part of the Sierra. They're working with some other land trusts as well. And this is a new partnership. They're divesting some land that they need to put conservation easements over,
Okay.
so that they will be protected, and most of them are hydrologic land that they've acquired, about 140,000 acres altogether. We also work with private landowners. We work with developers on mitigation.
Mhm.
So I'm trying to think if we have anything. I think the next thing that's going to be closing is another PG&E property that's coming up within the next few weeks. But other than that, we have a list of probably about 30 projects that are in the works, and a lot of it is a timing issue and a funding issue. So, you know, we have to find the grant funding to do a lot of the acquisitions. We just turned in 3 grant applications for some projects that we're hoping will come through.
Sure.
One of them would be to protect the remaining pieces of the Oast Ranch property that's here in Auburn.
Uh-huh.
So we've protected 3 phases, I think, and this is a historic ranch that's been actively ranched by the Oast family for over 150 years.
Wow.
And he wants his family's property protected with a conservation easement. So we put in a grant request to try to get funding to protect the remaining portions of that, as well as a couple other pieces. So we are actively working with Placer County to connect Hidden Falls Regional Park to some of our preserves to create this very large trail system that'll be about 50 acres of trails. We've been working on that for several years. The county's currently in the process of trying to locate another trailhead at the other end, closer to the Bear River where our properties are, so that there is options for where to park and go through, because right now we know Hidden Falls is pretty impacted with parking. So
sure.
We're looking at other options along with the county on where we can, you know, place another parking area.
Awesome.
So yeah,
Good stuff.
it'll be great recreation. Right now, those preserves that we have that will eventually be connected to Hidden Falls are only open for private tours. We have docents that lead those. That typically happens the second Saturday of every month. So second Saturday hikes, and then we throw in a few extras, so here and there.
Yeah.
Just for people to get a chance to come out and do some hiking in areas that are closed off without, you know, you don't have to worry about parking, because we have a little parking area on our preserves, but it's not big enough for the public. So
Gotcha.
yeah.
So if someone wanted to get more information about what Placer Land Trust has to offer, or volunteer opportunities, where would they go?
They can go to our website. It's a great place to find information. That's www.placerlandtrust.org. You can also find out some of what we're doing on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter. So we're pretty active on social media, and but our website has a lot of information. If you want to volunteer, you can find that out. We have a list of upcoming events. Like I've got the Great Sierra River Cleanup on Saturday that I'm trying to get ready for. So that's going to be happening on Saturday in Roseville. That unfortunately is full. I'm at capacity for my volunteers on that right now. I've got over 80 people coming. So, but that's a great event, and we have a list of hikes and other opportunities on our website. So
Great.
Go check it out.
All right. Did you want to show us the map?
Sure, we can step out here.
Okay.
We've got this great map that shows kind of an overview of our preserves. So right here on our wall, so we were talking about what's in Lincoln. So our Swainson's Grassland Preserve is right here. Then it's just past Gladding Road before you get to Wise, and it sort of is on both sides of Old Highway 65. So on this side over here, there's an old barn. I don't think it's in this picture, but there's an old barn that's been there for probably about 100 years that we had restored not too long ago.
Wow.
And our burrowing owls, so some people that are already following us on Facebook periodically see the burrowing owls, which is one of these guys. And the Doty Preserve is also in Lincoln. So both of those preserves have burrowing owls. Labadee Farms is one we have an easement on, and it's right outside of Lincoln. It's actually on a Newcastle address, but it's on Highway 193 or just off of it.
Oh, okay.
So these three right here are the ones that are closest to the Lincoln area. And then we're sort of all over the place in the county. So
Gotcha.
Going up 80 and up the American River, we have a focus point on protecting things along the American River to protect the watershed and the water quality. And then we're looking for the prime places to protect, the ones that are most important.
Gotcha.
So,
well, Janet, thank you so much for your time.
yeah, thanks for having me. I'm sorry I couldn't meet you down in Lincoln today, because we could have done it at Swainson's, but
No, that's quite all right.
we'll do it next time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So thank you everybody for watching. Join us next time. We will be interviewing the folks over at Simply Nutrition and learn more about their amazing business and everything that they're doing, some upcoming events that they have. And Janet, it's just been great talking with you and learning more, and thank you for everything that you do.
Absolutely.
All right.
Thanks, Mitzi.
Yep. Have a good day.